So the Sacramento Kings have been a pretty sad franchise over the past few years, as I believe it's now been 16 years since they've made the postseason. They just have had so much losing seasons. Honestly, I feel bad for Kings fans. But even though right now it looks like they're kind of hopeless, I still believe that there are some things the Sacramento Kings can do to drastically make their team better right now and for the future. So in today's video, I'll be naming 4 things that I believe the Sacramento Kings need to do. Before we get into the video, I just want you guys to know that I'm open to suggestions for like video ideas or anything like that. So drop it in the comment if you have anything you want me to talk about. Also, drop a like on this video as it does help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want more NBA content like this, because I post literally every single day. Also, if you want to help me reach my goal of 1,500 subscribers, it would be appreciated. Also, drop a comment on this video because I do respond to all of my comments, and play that intro. The first thing I think the Sacramento Kings need to do is win out on the Ben Simmons sweepstakes. Everyone knows that Ben is for sure going to be traded really soon, and although we like to make jokes about how he's trash, he can't shoot, teams are really interested in him, as a lot of teams have been making offers for him. Teams like the Raptors, Timberwolves, Warriors, Blazers, obviously the Sacramento Kings. So getting Simmons isn't going to be easy. I'm not even sure if Sacramento has the best offer. Like, they can't offer him the best package, other teams can. But I feel like all those other teams are not as desperate for Ben Simmons, which is what I think the Sacramento Kings are, or at least they should be desperate for Ben Simmons, in my opinion. Because I don't feel like the Raptors are going to give up Pascal Siakam for Ben Simmons, and that's what Philadelphia would want in return. And they're definitely not giving up Scottie Barnes, who was the 4th pick. The Timberwolves would probably have to give up D'Angelo Russell along with some other players. I think that would be a pretty good trade, but I don't think the Timberwolves would want to do that. The Warriors would probably have to give up James Wiseman, Andrew Wiggins, and some picks. Honestly, I feel like that move would be better for Philadelphia in the long run, but right now they're trying to compete for a championship since Joel has a limited prime since of his injuries and stuff like that. You're trying to win right now. The Blazers, like trading CJ McCollum for Ben Simmons. Actually, I think that would be the best deal the 76ers could get in return. There's been rumored that the Blazers don't plan on trading McCollum, and that leaves the Sacramento Kings, who, if they're going to trade for Ben Simmons, they're definitely going to give up Buddy Hield, and he's one of the best shooters in the NBA. And I think they would be willing to give up Hield, since it's been rumored since last season that he wanted to leave. Hield on the Sixers would be a great fit, since he could provide floor spacing for Embiid, can also handle the ball and create plays at a decent level. And Simmons on the Kings would be absolutely amazing, since he's a monster of a player, great on defense, solid on offense, and maybe in a new city where he's not going to have as much expectations, he could thrive and be a more confident player. A duo of him and De'Aaron Fox could actually be deadly. I think in time in Sacramento, Simmons would get way better. Getting Simmons for only a sharpshooter definitely would be a steal for the Kings. And I honestly feel like Ben would turn into a maybe even superstar level player on the Kings. As long as they don't give up De'Aaron Fox or their whole future for him, I think it's a good move. The second thing I think the Sacramento Kings need to do is fire their head coach in Luke Walton. He's probably the worst coach in the NBA, and I mean the worst. He probably does nothing well as a coach. The best thing I can give him credit for is the fact that he's a coach who gets along with his players. When it comes straight to X and no stuff, he's actually terrible. His rotations are trash, his late game decision making is trash, the plays he run is trash, he's just trash. He literally made them slow down the tempo for like no reason, and like that caused him to have such a bad season. I don't even know why the Kings fired Dave Yeager. He was the only guy who led them to even close to the postseason for the first time in a decade. And I don't think it was coincidence that as soon as they got rid of Dave Yeager, they got so much worse. I truly believe Luke Walton is this team's biggest problem, because Sacramento isn't like the worst team in the NBA or anything like that. They have some quality and solid players. They just need to get rid of him and maybe sign a guy like Kenny Atkinson, or maybe just get anyone else, because literally any coach is better than Luke Walton. Sacramento genuinely can be a team that makes the play-in tournament if they just had some better coaching. I honestly feel like if they traded for Ben Simmons and got rid of Luke Walton, we definitely could have seen the Kings be a pretty solid team and bring some excitement back to Sacramento. I also believe any coach beside Walton can develop Ben Simmons and help him reach his ceiling, but just please get rid of him. He's literally probably the worst thing on this team. The third thing I would do to fix the Sacramento Kings is sign some quality defenders, because in case you didn't know, the Kings were not only the worst team on the defensive side of the floor last season, they were one of the worst teams in NBA history on defense. I don't care who you are, you're not going to win many games playing that terrible amount of defense. You're simply not. And I give a lot of the blame to Luke Walton, because the Sacramento Kings team isn't a team filled with a bunch of bad defenders, as they have a bunch of solid defenders. De'Aaron Fox, he's not a bad defender. Tyrese Halliburton showed a lot of signs on defense. I'd say he's probably a good defender. Harrison Barnes is a good defender. Buddy Hield is a good defender when he tries. He's not a horrible one. And their center last season, and Rashawn Holmes, was a pretty good defensive center. They're not the most defensive talented team, but they're definitely not the least defensive talented team. They definitely shouldn't be the worst in the NBA. I think that's a sign for the Kings organization that they need to get rid of Luke Walton. Getting a new coach definitely would help that out. Getting Ben Simmons would really help that out, because he literally won Defensive Player of the Year. Great on the perimeter. He's great as a help defender. So the first 2 points I made would really help their defense. But they also need to sign some defenders, because all they really did this offseason was sign Tristan Thompson. He's not a bad defensive center, but I definitely think they're going to need more than that. They just need some perimeter defenders, and I would have hoped that they could get it this offseason, but I guess no one was really trying to go to Sacramento. But maybe they could trade for some guys who could play defense at a decent level, or just looking at some free agents who are still available to play defense. I don't know, but they can't continue being the worst defense in NBA history. You can't do that, bro. The fourth thing I would do to fix the Sacramento Kings is simply relocate. And I know a lot of Kings fans won't like that idea, but it's literally been 16 years since they made the postseason. At this current moment, it's not looking like they're even a lock to make the play-in tournament. And I just feel like a change of scenery might be better for this team, because they honestly might just be cursed or something. There's no way a team can just be this sad. I would probably relocate to Seattle or literally anywhere else, because I think Sacramento's time is done. I never even heard of the city of Sacramento before I got into the NBA. This isn't a diss to its fans, but I just think they need to relocate. Honestly, unless they get Ben Simmons, I think they should just move. Or if they don't make the playoffs next year, just move, bro. But to conclude the video, Sacramento just isn't in a good spot right now. Honestly, Sacramento has just been really disappointing, because they missed out on so much great prospects. Hopefully Davion Mitchell is solid, but I do think if they get Ben Simmons and get rid of Luke Walton and address their defense, they can be a team that competes for the 7th or 8th seed, and I think they could probably make the play-in tournament, but I guess we'll just have to see. Anyways, guys, that's it for the video. Let me know what you think the Sacramento Kings need to do. Drop a like on this video, as it does help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want more NBA content like this. And if you want to enter the 1,000 subscribers, drop a comment on this video. It's like conversation. I do respond to all of my comments, and I'm out.